You ain't gotta lie to kick it, my nigga. You ain't gotta lie. You ain't gotta lie. You ain't
What's
gotta.
going on, everybody? This is episode 6 of You Ain't Got a Lot podcast. I'm Jay Safety, aka Two Wavy Jster. With F Money, bitch. How you feeling today, man?
Man, I'm great. What about you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Feeling real rested. That's why we end up recording later than anticipated, but it's all good. We're here and we got these topics for you. The ones we usually talk about: NFL, NBA. We love our sports. But to start things off, we're going a little different direction. We're going to talk about our favorite TV sitcoms and then our two most recent shows we watched that we really enjoyed. Money's going to go first. What are your favorite sitcoms growing up?
Okay, my favorite one, man. Number one, The Fresh Prince. You know, everybody know about that one. With Will Smith.
Yeah.
Uncle Phil. Ashley Carlton. Hillary. Everybody know about that one. My other one, this one gonna catch you off guard. And you know what? I feel like I'm a little bit like the father. Because, he be cheap sometimes. That's 25 cents worth of milk. So, everyone hates Chris. You know, I love that show, man. I can relate to Julius. He's real cautious with his spending. Yeah, my wife, she likes to joke with me. She's like, shoot, I'm gonna have to maybe one day I'll be like the wife. My husband got two jobs. So that one. And then this one. I have to talk this one right here. You would have never guessed. The Office. Man, I love The
The
Office. That
Office? No, I would have never
yes,
guessed
The
The Office.
Office. Hey, honorable mention, man, Boy Meets World.
Women's World was a good one. I didn't really watch it too much, but it was definitely a good one. So you had The Office, Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and what else you had?
Everyone hates Chris.
Everyone Hates Chris. Everyone Hates Chris is good. I like Everyone Hates Chris. All right. Okay. So what recently have you been watching?
Recently, okay, so my recent favorite show, man, I've been watching so many episodes of this. It's All American. Then it had a spinoff with All American Homecoming. So I put those two together because it had a spinoff with some of the with one of the characters and everything. But All American, man,
Right.
I watched all the seasons. I'm currently behind on the newest season because they changed some things up with the characters and everything. But that was one of my favorite shows. I'm gonna say this. Another one that I really, really, really loved. Money Heist.
Money Heist. I haven't seen it yet. I've heard people talk about it, but I have not seen it.
Money Heist, man. You gotta check that out. And I know you don't agree with this one. This last one. Alice in Borderland. I love that show. Hey, hey, for honorable mention, man. You want an honorable mention? Or you like, nah, I'm good.
Sure. What's your honorable mention? No, what's your honorable mention?
Suits, man. I love that show, Suits, man. I watched all 9 seasons
Okay.
of Suits.
Oh
So
wow.
yes, I watched all 9 seasons of Suits, bruh. And then it was during COVID. I was like, you know what? Everybody was talking about Suits. Seeing 8 episodes on I mean 8 seasons on Netflix. I was like, shoot, let me go watch this. And boom, man, I was hooked. They made a spinoff I haven't checked out. It's called Suits in LA. I haven't really checked it out because it's on F FX. But I
Oh,
liked I
okay.
liked the regular one, the Suits. So those are my, favorite shows. Let's hear yours, man.
All right. All right. So my favorite shows growing up. First on the list is Living Single. Living Single. The show centered around uh
A bunch of friends, 6 friends who live in New York City who share personal and professional experiences while living in the Brooklyn brownstone. And to all our viewers in the South who don't know what a brownstone is, it's basically what they call the townhouses there. They use some type of like weird sand and it gives them a brown color. It was very popular in the 1800s, and a lot of those buildings are still standing currently today. So they're called brownstones. Queen Latifah was literally a queen of the show. She was the focal point and the heartbeat of everything. Like she was the leader of the pack, so to speak. And I was raised by women, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have a father growing up, so it was my mother, my grandmother, and my aunt, or 3 men who were very prominent in my life. So needless to say, this show that centered around black women as the main character who are successful as well, you know, it was on the TV a lot. And it shows struggles from their dating and challenges they face by being women in power. You know, Khadijah was the editor and publisher of her own magazine called Flavor. She dealt with up and down, and the magazine consisted about talking about prominent figures in the African community and things going on with African community as well. And Maxine was a black female attorney in the 90s. So just think about how much backlash and pushback that she got from being a black attorney in the 90s. So, and I think that's what made that show great. Just having these women in power and it showed those little girls like, growing up, hey, this could be you. Nothing's impossible for you. So I always love that show, and obviously it's comedy. Everyone's in there funny. Maxine's probably my favorite character. It was where I think my appreciation and love of women with wit started. Like I love a witty woman. Like if I crack a joke and you crack one back, that's the quickest way to get on my good side. So yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite shows growing up. Next one we got the Wayne's Brothers, man. The Wayne's Brothers was
I
hilarious.
love that
Sean and
show,
Marlon,
man.
oh my goodness. It was about 2 brothers living together in Harlem, Sean and Marlon. And fun fact, they're real life brothers if you've never seen the show. By the way, the people watching at home, these are a lot of spoilers. If you ever plan on watching any of these shows or anything like that, I know I'm going to be spoiling. Money was nice and didn't really do any spoilers. I'm going to be spoiling as I talk about them. So if you don't want to hear, you might want to skip past this part. But yeah, so Sean and Marlon, another show that had black people in power. Sean owned a newsstand in the Rockefeller Building in New York. And to the people who might not know what the Rockefeller Building in New York is, that's not no easy building to get a business in. So the fact that he had a newsstand in the center of it as a black man was a big deal. And his dad owned a restaurant in that same building. And it was later revealed in that show that it was a historical landmark and a part of the civil rights movement. So it also had that aspect in his love, the security guard D was another black woman who did a great job protecting the building. And that's one thing I really loved about the 90s sitcoms is they always had black actors own something. They own something or they are in some position of power and they are very successful. And I think that's how we initially started promoting black excellence through, characters portrayed on TV. We even had a TV show that promoted black kids going to college, A Different World. And I love that. A lot of, black kids in the community feel like, oh, well, we can't go to college. And, shows like that shows you can do it. You can do anything you want to. Anything you can put your mind to, anything's reachable. So I love that about the 90s sitcoms for black folks.
What about
So those are
Martin?
my biggest 2 impact ones. Okay, I was going to put Martin, but I was like, I thought you were going to say Martin. So
No, I
since you
told you I
brought it
was
up, I
gonna go
will talk
Martin.
about it. I love Martin. Martin started my love for lighter tone women. Gina, bro, I had the biggest crush on Gina growing up, dog. Tisha Campbell, oh my goodness. Bro, I was in love with that woman. You hear me? Oh my goodness. She could do no wrong to me.
Hey,
And then she
everyone
was in
hate
All My
Chris.
Wife and Kids was another show I love.
Everyone hate
Hmm?
Chris. Actress uh was in there too. The mother
Was
of
in
Everyone
what?
Hates Chris. She was Gina Friend.
Oh yeah, yeah. She was in there. Yeah, yeah, Pam. She played Pam.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was another black woman who was witty. I love women that are witty because of from the lady that played Maxine. I forget, didn't write her name down. And Teacher Arnold, that's the lady that plays Pam. I love women that are witty. If a witty woman, that's how you win me over. Because Pam always had a joke for Martin. Martin crack a joke, she come right back at him. But Gina, my goodness, that woman was beautiful. You hear me? And so obviously when she did My Wife and Kids, I had to watch My Wife and Kids, and that's another show I love too as well. And that was one thing I loved about My Wife and Kids. It showed a black marriage making the marriage work. And another thing in there, if you actually watch the show, it'll be times where um Michael will be like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. And his wife will not agree with it. But because he's the man leading the marriage, she will allow him to basically fail. And then once he fails, she'll be like, see, baby, you shouldn't have did that. Like she never like scrutinized him. Now, obviously, when he was wrong, she checked him. She's like, now that's not right. You need to go fix that X, Y, and Z. It was like the perfect balance of, strictness and hardship as well as loving and compassion. And man, that was a great show. So yeah, so those are basically my favorite shows I watched growing up. All right. So more recently, I'm not a big TV watcher now. I'm really like either working or I'm trying to do my gaming channel. But when I do watch something, the shows that I've gravitated towards recently were like Korean shows, or like, I don't want to say K dramas, but definitely Korean shows or Asian based shows. Squid Games is probably the best TV show I watched in maybe 10 years. It follows around Segun, a struggling gambler who is invited to participate in a mysterious survival game with a massive cash prize where he and other desperate individuals face deadly children games for a chance at survival. And basically, you play all the games, you get the prize. If you win and make your way to the end. And Gihon was able to do it. He was able to play all the games. Sometimes it was a little luck. Sometimes it was skill. And even in the end, like he was more lucky than he was skillful. Because in the end, he shouldn't have won. He was ready to quit, and then the guy killed himself. So, unfortunately, he was fortunate enough to be in lucky situations. And once he ends up winning, because he needed the money, because he was a struggling gambler, he owed a lot of people money. He feels empty. He feels like he's not complete, and he just didn't know what to do with himself. He has all his money. He didn't spend the money for like a year. So he has all this money. He didn't spend the money. He just lived, surviving on, as essentially a homeless person. And fast forward, he comes with this great idea. It's really a bad idea, but a great idea that he wants to stop the games from being played so people don't lose. And he's really a bad father. Like, the nigga is on his way walking on a plane to go see his daughter. Then he gets a call from the front man saying, you need to get on this plane and go see your daughter. And he was like, I'm going to stop you. So he basically said, F his daughter, got off the plane and to go stop this man from continuing to play the games. And it was the most selfless shit I've seen in so long. But that's what he ended up doing. And then in season 2, if you haven't seen it yet, once again, these are spoilers. In season 2, he went ahead and the front man was like, listen, we're going to do it your way. So he allowed him to dictate how everything played out. He let him lead the way, and it still ended up with an awful result. So Squid Game is one of the few TV shows where we've seen where season 1 was amazing and season 2 was really good as well. There's been a lot of TV shows where we'll see season 1 and season 2 is like, or it just don't make sense. A couple shows that I think about that had a great season 1 and a really bad season 2. Dave, the little Dicky TV show, that had a really good season 1, season 2 was bad. Alice in Borderland had a
don't
great
hate on the show.
season 1, season
Don't
2
hate on the
was
show.
It wasn't bad, but it was like the last episode of season 2 makes no sense to me still to this day.
Don't hate on the show.
So yeah, you got a couple shows that are kind of out there like that. I'm just saying, bro. Season 2 wasn't as good as season 1. And then they skipped on games in season 2. That really bothered me. Like, why are we skipping on games and just showing snippets of people in the middle? It was rushed. It was too rushed for me. But regardless of which. Squid Games is a great TV show. You should watch it if you haven't watched it. And I know some people, this is another thing that kind of irritates me. I heard people say, I don't like watching shows with English dub because the lips don't add up. First of all, put the subtitles on, bro. Put the subtitles on, read the subtitles, and watch the accent as it goes. You'll be fine. Like, if something that small bothers you, I feel sorry for you as an individual, because how do you survive in this world? It's something as small as the lips slightly being off because they're speaking another language. I mean, it's not that deep. it's not that deep for it to bother you so much so that you won't watch the show. I think that's a little much. And the second one, like I said, I've been really into these K dramas. The 8 Show. You ever heard of the 8 Show?
No.
All right. Well, it's awesome. It's a mini series about how many episodes? Maybe 8, ironically, 8 or 10 episodes. And it's about 8 individuals trapped in a mysterious 8-story building participating in a tempting but very dangerous game show where they earn money as time passes. So, essentially, as time passes, I think every hour you earn money. But the catch to it is it's a hierarchy. So you have 8 floors in the building. 8 all the way down to 1. 8th earns the most money per hour, and first floor earns the least. So first floor earns like 10,000 per hour, and second's like, what is second? Second is, I think, like 20 per hour. No, they're like 40 per hour. And then third floor is like 80 per hour. Once you get to fourth floor, they're about 100 an hour. And then you have each floor earns a ton of money. And to the first floor, she gets like, how much she gets? She gets like 800K an hour, or like roughly $1 million an hour. So what does that mean, money? You're a very smart man. You're a finance major. If you make the most money, you have the most what?
You got the hardest games. You got the most in your pocket. True. You got the most
power.
You got the most, yeah.
Yes,
you got the most to lose too.
Not really. They don't play games. It's basically it's not a game show, so to speak. So basically, these people are stuck in this building, right? Mm-hmm. And they have to buy supplies and stuff like that to survive. They have to use their money that they earned from being in there. But there's the thing, though. Everything is marked all the way up. So instead of you getting like a pillow that's like $5 or $3 from the store, the pillow will be like $1,000. So you guys spend your money, and then when you come together, you guys have to figure out, hey, what are you gonna do? And so initially, they have a time limit. So basically, when the time runs out, the show is over. The show is over, and whatever money you earned, you leave. So they have to do things to earn more time. And so at first, they thought running up and down the stairs bought them more time. So what they would do is they would take turns, 4 run in the morning, 4 run at night. And then after a while, they saw their time not going up as much as it once did. And it was like, why are we not getting time? We've been running just as hard as we've ever been. And first of all these people have been in great shape from running up down these stairs. But they realized they weren't getting as much time as before. And so they end up having an argument, and somebody got punched in the face. And then they seen their time spike up. And that's when they realized they have to entertain the viewers to get more time to keep making more money. So first floor has a crippled clown. Second floor has and he's like literally like a clown, like he puts on a face mask and all that thing, but he has a short leg, one leg shorter than the other one. And the second floor is an MMA fighter. That girl, she's a badass. Third floor is an idiot, and he's also the main protagonist of the show. Fourth floor is a girl who is a kiss ass. She flip flops just to be likable by the 8th floor. Fifth floor is a lady who's in her late 40s who's a little delusional, and all she wants is peace, and she's essentially the building nurse. 6th floor is just a bully and an asshole. He hired himself essentially to be 8th floor's bodyguard, because you know why? Money is power. Seventh floor is the brains of the operation. He outsmarts people in the void situation because he's just simply smarter than everyone there. So he makes a lot of decisions that aligns with his survival and avoids conflict with everyone. And eighth floor is a delusional, narcissistic, unpredictable sociopath that only cares about herself and has the most power because she makes the most money. And also by the dynamic too, they get free meals, right? You can order, you can pay for meals, but they give you free meals and free water. And so eighth floor gets all the food and water, and she has to send it down. So it was a point during the show where eighth floor got mad at everybody and locked herself in her room. And so when they sent the food, what she did, she literally took all the water, poured it out, took all the food off, and sent down the empty trays and container to everybody else. So the only way they could get food is if they use their money to buy food. But keep in mind, everything's marked up. And so now, if you got to spend your money to buy food, we don't all make the same amount of money. So how are we going to say, oh, well, money, since you're the seventh floor, you should pay for everybody's food? That's not fair. Why do you got to pay for everybody's food? Everyone here got money. So it created a tension between everybody, and eighth floor just stayed locked in her room because she didn't have to read. Because when you're in your room, that's another rule they had. If you're in your room, you can order food or anything you order for your room, it can't leave your room. So, for example, let's say you order the PlayStation, it has to stay in your room or you're eliminated and you lose all your money. So you could order food for yourself, but like I said, everything's marked the f up. So it was a great psychological show. It was a lot going to it. It was really good. I highly recommend anyone who hasn't seen it to watch it, especially you, Money Man. Very good TV show. Very good miniseries. It was so good that I wanted a season 2, but it doesn't need a season 2 because of how it's structured. Because if you did a season 2, I think you would have to get 8 new people, and then you have to create a whole new storyline for what those 8 people experience, which is more difficult than continuing a storyline, if that makes sense. So, yeah, really love that show.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Those are big ones for me. But now, you got anything else you want to talk about as far as these TV shows, man?
The Lincoln Lawyer is another good one I liked. But no, not really.
You know, I got that on my to watch list. I got that. I've heard about that one. I got that on my to watch list as well. But we'll see. And yeah, I mean, Squid Games is a better show than Alice in Borderland. But anyways, moving on to our next topic, NBA buzz. We're talking about things going on in the NBA, from the standings, some storylines that's floating around, as well as getting ready for the playoffs coming up here. And within, I think, 2 weeks, we get to play in. So, Money, tell us the standings, please, and thank you.
Okay, so in the East, the Cavs have the number 1 seed. They're 61-15. They've been dominant. They had a little bit of a losing streak, but they're still number 1. The Celtics are number 2. They're 5 games back. So I don't think they're going to get number 1 seed, but you know, they're close. They're really close. So if the Cavs go on another 4-game losing streak, 5-game no, they have to go on like a 6-game losing streak to get overtaken, but I highly doubt that that's going to happen. The Knicks are number 3. They might as well just rest their starters. It's over with for them. They're 13 games back. Then the Pacers are number 4, 16 games back. The Bucks are number 5. They're 19 games back. The Pistons are number 6. They're 19 games back. So the Bucks can get overtaken. The Magic, your team, is the 7th seed, 24 games back. The Hawks are the 8th seed, 25 games back. The 9th seed is the Heat, 26.5 games back. They were on like a 7-game losing streak. And then the Bulls are the 10th seed, 27 games back. I don't think they're going to really do much. Now we're going to the West. The Thunder have...
Before you start the West, I just want to throw this out there real quick. The play-in, I like the idea of the play-in. It gives those teams a chance who are like neck and neck. Like if 10th place was in 3 games of 8th place, I think the play-in is dope because it's like, man, we just had a rough start. We had this rough pass because we lost our star player. I like the play-in. But when you have teams that's 12 games back or like 6 games back from 8th place, what are we doing?
It's
There's
not
no
really that
reason
far.
the West should have a play-in. How far is Sacramento from 8th place?
Sacramento is.
I know I'm jumping the gun. I just
20.
know they're out of the loop.
They're 8 games back, and the Mavs are 6.5. They shouldn't even be in it.
Exactly. That's my point. Like, if it's 3 games in that window, yes, I think that's dope because it's so close. But 6 games, 8 games is insane. But I ain't mean to interrupt you. I just want to throw that out there. I just don't
No,
like
good.
that concept.
You're good. Now we're gonna talk about the West. The Thunder, they're the number 1 overall seed. So if they make them and the Cavs make it to the finals, they have home court. 64-12. They've been dominant. SGA been doing his thing. You already know that.
And 70 wins is on the board for them.
Yeah. Okay, the Rockets are number 2. It's really, really surprising to me that they're number 2, man. How young of a team they are and everything. But, hey, they got a great coach. The Nuggets are number 3. Oh, the Rockets were 14.5 games back. So the Thunder basically are resting people and still winning games.
Yeah, that's locked. Yeah, that's locked.
Yes, lot. The Nuggets are
It's basically if they want to go
17.5.
for 70 or not.
Yeah. But what's the point of going for 70? It's not like you're going to break an NBA record.
I agree. It's nice to have
Now-
on your resume, but I agree.
Yeah, now if you're like, hey, we got a chance to go, beat the Warriors record, then yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah.
But there's no point. The Rockets 14.5, the Nuggets 17.5 and 3. The Lakers are 4, 18 games back. The Warriors, remember I told you about them boys. They're number 5,
did tell me
19
about the
games
Warriors.
back. They have a chance to get the number 3 seed. They have a strong chance.
Yes.
Number 6 is the Grizzlies, 19.5 games back, man. They've been sliding, man.
I just don't believe in that team, man. They fired their coach with a winning record. It just
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a little bit because I got a lot to say about it. Number 7 is the Wolves, 19.5 games back. The Grizzlies were 6 with 19.5 games back, so they're right there neck and neck. Number 8 is the Clippers, 20 games back. Number 9 is the Mavericks, 26.5 games back, and number 10 is the Kings, 28 games back. The bottom of the West with the Clippers, Mavs, and Kings. It's ridiculous, man. How are the Suns not in a playoff picture? That's incredible to me. How? You're not even in 10th spot.
'cause nobody on that team don't play defense.
That's ridiculous to me. So,
Kevin's too on. Devin Booker never played defense, and Bradley Beal never played defense.
Hey, we're going to have a conversation with this. We're going to have this conversation. All right. Well, I want to talk about this first. So we're talking about NBA buzz. Since you brought this up, we're going to talk about the Grizzlies first. With Ja Morant. Ja actually complained about the motion style offense because he wasn't getting the ball more. He wanted to run pick and roll. That it sounded like a reason for the coach getting fired. And then Ja is doing gun gestures and everything. And it's like, bro, you already got suspended for that and you doing this? And I just don't know,
Supposedly,
man.
Buddy Hield did it first. I didn't dig too far in it, but supposedly Buddy Hield did it to him first, and he responded like that. But I agree with what you were going at. Like, you've already had issue with gun and all this other stuff, which, by the way, this is a slight tangent. I think what a man does in his free time is what he does. Like, if Ja Morant wants to go hunting deer and he posts pictures with his big buck kills, what's the issue with that?
I
But
agree
because
with
he
that.
has a gun in the strip club to protect himself, what, like, I don't know.
You're a millionaire. Dudes are
I
going to
just
try to
think
rob
that-
you.
Yes. I just think it's viewed when a black man has a gun, it's a terrible thing. But when the white man has a rifle, but he's holding an animal he just slaughtered, it's a beautiful thing. I was a good like too much in that. But anyways, I think since he already has that negative connotation on him when it comes to guns, he should avoid situations like that. Like he should immediately be like, "Ref, look at him. He's look what he's doing to me. I feel whatever." But to him to be like, "Well, you did to me, I did to you," like that shows a level of immaturity. Josh's too talented to be trying to be gangster. Like you got both parents in your life. I highly doubt you're from the hood. I haven't, once again, haven't done my due diligence. That's on me. But I'm very confident saying you didn't grow up in the ghetto. You're not from the ghetto. You have both parents in your life. You have a great father. So it's like I don't understand why the need to try to prove people. Because is it because you're playing in Memphis? Like that just crossed my mind. Is it because you're in Memphis and Memphis is known to be a little rough city? Like, is that why you're trying to
I
appeal
guess
to
he
the
got
people there?
homeboys
It
from
just
the
doesn't make
hood.
any
That's
sense.
why he got homeboys from the hood. So
I mean, yeah, but still, man.
that's why.
I mean, it is wild. Like Snoop said, you can't take the hood out the homies. So you got these people throwing millions of dollars at you to be entertainer. So entertain. Just do what you do best. Hoop on dudes. So I don't know, man. And I think I was kind of taking where you were going with the direction of it with the head coach. So I'm gonna give you the floor to talk about that.
Let me ask you this another thing, Jay. Do you think it's possible that John needs a change of scenery?
I've heard that floated out there, and it's like, yeah, I heard one trade proposal. It was a three-team trade involving Ja, LaMelo, and Trey Young, and basically the three of them just rotate to a different city. But someone pushed back and said, I don't think John Morant. He said he don't think Trey Young or LaMelo is as valuable for Ja, so they will need something else, which I disagree with. I think a LaMelo for Ja straight up is a fair trade, or a Ja for Trey Young is a fair trade. They're all young. None of them dudes are in their past 25. You know, they've all showed levels of. Only person who hasn't really showed a level of success is LaMelo because he hasn't made it to the postseason. But other than that, we've seen Trey go to an Eastern. He's averaged a double double for what, 3 years, 4 years, or something like that. So I disagree with the premise that now John Morant obviously is better than them. I can admit that, but to say that to get that in the even trade, I think that's to want like a first round pick with LaMelo for Ja. I don't agree with that. But yeah, I may do him good. Having to change the scenery may do him good. Do you got some
I don't
hypothetical trades for us?
I'm gonna say this. I don't think where did they have him going to Charlotte or Atlanta?
He didn't really specify, but he was saying those three guys just rotate cities.
Because I don't
Whatever
think
you
he
like.
could go to
Wherever
Atlanta.
you think would be the best fit.
I wouldn't send him to Atlanta. He had to go to Charlotte.
I
You
wouldn't
have to
send him
say-
to Atlanta either. It's the same as Memphis.
Yes.
It's the same as Memphis.
But you know what?
It's a
personally?
bigger. It's the same as Memphis, just on a bigger scale.
I personally think he needs to go to a
Charlotte's a
street
nice
team.
city.
Like if I would say, Miami might be a street team for him. I would have said the Spurs, but they went and got Fox, and Greg is
Miami's not
retiring.
bad.
Or maybe he needs to go to a team like the Celtics. Maybe do you need it's possible, but I'm like he needs to go to a strict team because like Miami, some of these teams ain't gonna accept that. He can do that in Memphis,
Ja
and they
don't
not
play
really doing
defense
much.
well enough to play for the Celtics. If you look at the Celtics, they have everyone that plays. Even Al Horford, old ass, play defense.
So I'm just saying, I'm just not a fan of what Josh doing, man. Like I don't want him to be the what if player. He had like the crazy thing
Like
is,
Steve Francis.
yeah, the crazy thing is he has the chance to be the best player in his draft class because Zion over there, he can't stay healthy. So that's a thing right there. I'm gonna go into this next subject. Um, we're gonna talk about this, and I want to see your opinion on this. Do you agree with teams that are eliminated from the playoffs sitting their players out?
No, I don't. I think, at the end of the day, obviously, we're all playing, but once you get eliminated to just shut down your players, it's what are you doing it for? Are you trying to get better odds at a draft lottery that's done behind closed doors? It's not a guarantee. So I think you should. I mean, I guess if you're going from the aspect of playing your young players, and let's say you got some G League guys that still got time left, you should go for it. But if you, for example, like Dallas did, what was it, a year or two ago, they shut Luca down, and Luca was not happy about it. He was like, "I want to play ball." I think if your superstar still wants to play, you play him. Now, if like Kevin Durant's like 40, so he has bad knees and he's dealing with injuries and stuff like that, then yeah, you shut that guy
They don't
down.
have that draft
But if
picks,
you have a
Jay.
star player in his, so what are we stopping players from playing from? What are we doing?
The Suns don't have that
It's
draft picks.
ridiculous. It's just a poorly ran. Yes, because their owner doesn't know what he's doing. Every new owner that comes to the NBA, I don't know why this is a thing. Every time a new owner comes to the NBA, they're like, "Oh, we're winning the championship next year." So they trade all their draft picks. That's why they have the C Stepien rule because of this. They trade all their draft picks. They move things around, try to build the super roster, and then 3 years in, well, this sucks. We're not winning. We're not even making the playoffs. I'm selling the team. And the cycle continues.
Yeah, yeah. The
I think
Suns,
next
they have
season,
other
next
teams.
offseason for NBA is going to be more fascinating because with the Celtics getting new ownership, I really feel like he doesn't want to be in that luxury tax bracket.
Yeah.
So if to get out of the luxury tax bracket, you're going to move players. If the
He's gonna
Celtics
move.
don't
It's
repeat,
gonna be. Hey Jay, it's gonna be Drew or Porzingis gonna get moved. Might
I
be
think it's
both
going
of
to be
them.
Jalen Brown.
You think they gonna move
I think Jalen
Brown?
Brown's going to be the one that get moved.
Oh
Yes, he doesn't
man,
want to
like
be in the luxury tax.
you think Brown though?
He's going
Like
to
I would
move
move
Brown and probably
bro.
move Porzingis.
I would move Holiday and Porzingis.
He's a first time
'cause-
owner, but he doesn't know what he's doing it. I agree.
Man,
I agree with you, but he's a first time owner. He's going to make a bad decision to get out of the luxury tax. And I think Jalen Brown, if you look at the contracts on the team, it's Tatum, then Brown, then Porzingis, and then it keeps going down. I think he's going to try to move Porzingis as well as Brown
Oh
to
man,
get out of
that
that
would ruin
bracket.
it. You ruin the
They
team.
have to win a championship. You would. I agree. They have to win a championship because if they win a championship, then you can't. What's the word? You can't explain that to your fans. Like, oh, I broke the team up after winning a championship. So they have to
Let me
win a
ask you
championship to
this:
keep.
what if they
team
go to
together.
the finals?
That increases your odds, but it's still dicey. Maybe he holds on. If they go to the finals, maybe Jalen doesn't get moved. But if they lose in the second round, that roster's getting broke up because he doesn't want to pay the luxury tax.
Well,
A
are we
first-year
talking about
owner,
Celtics?
he
Well, we're
doesn't
talking
want
about
to pay the luxury
Celtics,
tax.
Jay. We might as well talk about this. You say the Celtics were on a tear. They were on like a 9-game win streak until they lost to Miami. Let's talk about that. Since we're on the topic of Celtics.
I mean, so many games in the NBA season, losing, your 10th game out of out of 9. I mean, that's not bad. Now, granted, it's to the woeful Miami Heat, but every dog has his day. I don't think that's a detriment to them. And hasn't Tatum been out as well with an ankle injury?
I think so.
So I believe that plays a part. So I'm not too worried about them losing that game. You're gonna lose to bad teams occasionally. It happens. It's too many games in the year to not lose those games and to rev it up so long, like with the Celtics. I mean not the Celtics. Excuse me. The Cavaliers. They're revving up so long when they had that 15-game winning streak. When they finally did lose, they lost like 3 or 4 in a row. It's exhausting. So, I mean, I get it. I'm not going to hold it against them. Miami does have players on there that can get it going from time to time with Tyler Hero and Bam. And what's the young guy y'all got too?
Where?
Yeah. So you got those couple pieces there.
Okay.
I got one
What do
for
you
you, though.
Okay.
Was Nikola Jokic 61-point game for nothing? He dropped 61 points in double overtime and unfortunately lost.
He had a triple double, man.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's ridiculous. How what more do you need me to do? Go for 100 like Will? Go for 81 like Kobe? Like what do you want? Like I got a 61-point triple dub, and we lose the game. Like what? Like shoot, you might as well surround me with all cheerleaders at that point.
61, 10, and 10 was his stat line.
You might as well surround me with all cheerleaders. We're gonna lose that game.
I got a fun fact for you. When Nikola has scored more than 50 points, what is his record?
I have no idea. I don't think it's positive.
He's 0-4 for his career. Could you
Wow.
imagine every time you hoop, every time you hoop, you lose?
I know how he feels. I know how he feels as the big man. I know how he feels. Every time in 2K I have a huge game, we lose. I can like if as a team when we have a whole squad, every time I have a huge game, we lose. The only times I've had huge games and we won is me and you, or it's only three of
Yeah.
us. It's not the whole squad. So I know how he feels.
I remember
I know
one game with
exactly
the
how
whole
he
squad.
feels.
You had like you had like 40 and 20 and like 6 blocks. You had a crazy game. We lost by 10.
See, I know.
You was hooping for sure though. You was hooping for sure though. We ended up losing by 10. I was like, dang, Money was hooping though.
See, I know
Oh,
how he
that's too
feels.
funny.
I know how he feels, bro.
That is too funny. Yeah, I mean, that's tough.
See, I told you, I know how he feels, bro. Like that's why I don't even try to go off when we got the whole squad. When it's just me and you, I'll go off. But when we got the whole squad, I know it's a chance we may lose. So,
Oh man, that is too funny.
yeah,
Oh man,
yeah.
what else you got for the NBA?
I'm gonna say I think the playoffs is gonna be real interesting to see who makes it out. Who makes it out of the East? Who makes it out of the West? Going off of records, we think it's going to be Cavs Thunder, but going off what we know, I don't think it's going to be Cavs Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because those teams have played so well this year, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously you gotta give them the respect. They put in that work and they've showed they're dominant teams. They really don't have any like holes. No, like you can look at the team and be like, oh, this team doesn't have X, Y, Z. So they have no like glaring holes or weak spots. But it's just like the youth of the team. It's like, do you really believe in them? Like, I just don't believe in the Cavs. I believe more so in the OKC. I feel like they got a good roster. SJ is playing out of this world. He's about to win MVP. And man. The funny thing about that, since I brought that up, I think Nikola Jokic should have won MVP this year because his season is insane. But in order to do that, you would have to go back 2 years ago where Luca played insane. Luca had averaged like 34 points a game, 9 assists and 9 rebounds. He was shooting 48% from the floor and 44% from three, or 42%. Just crazy numbers. And they gave it to Nikola because he was the best player on the best team. So now this year, you got to give it to the best player on the best team in Shea. And I think with Shea not having an MVP as well, he deserves it. Because that's usually how they do it. If a guy has one compared to a guy who doesn't have one, they're going to give it to the guy who doesn't have one. And it's not like Shea doesn't deserve it. Shea 100% deserves it. He's about to win the scoring title as well. So congrats to him on this year, man. But he has to finish it off. If he does pull it off, another fun fact for you, if Shea wins MVP and goes on to win the championship, he'll be the 5th player in NBA history to do so. The last time it happened was the 2000 Lakers with Shaq. So it hasn't happened in 25 years, Money.
Wow, that's interesting. So, hey, I want MVP then. I want MVP then.
I mean, look at it.
I don't want it.
Even when LeBron was dominant, because somebody's going to be like, what about LeBron? LeBron didn't win it. They lost to Dallas.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't want it. Hey,
It's almost
hey,
like
I'm
the
ready.
Madden. It's almost like the Madden curse, bro.
Hey, I'm ready to clear. Like, think it is a curse, shoot, doggone. It's because 25 years. Yeah, I don't want it. Did they
Yeah.
tell? Hey, I'm SGA. I'm like, nah, give it to Jokic. Give it to Jokic, because I got
Give
a
it
high
to Jokic.
chance of winning. Get it, Jokic. I'll be in the I'll be Jokic #1 cheerleader. Get him. So when he win it, I know I got a chance to win the finals.
That's crazy. But all right, what else? You got anything NBA?
No, I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about these rule changes in the NFL, man. We're gonna talk about this
All right, you guys.
NFL rule changes, man.
moving along, the NFL has added a couple rule changes. I think Money has some written down that I don't have written down. So I'm
I
gonna say
do.
the ones do you have some written down? Okay. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna say the ones I have written down, then I'm gonna let you take over the ones you have written down. The first one I noticed they're changing the touchback for the kickoff, which was marked at the 30. Now they're doing it at 35 for the 2025 season because they basically want more kickoffs, which is funny because in the beginning when they started changing the kickoff rules, they were doing it for player safety, and
For
it was
concussions.
almost feeling like the kickoffs was going to be out of the game. Exactly. They say concussions was a worry. So it's almost like they're going to take kickoffs out of the game. Now, with this rule change, it's like they're encouraging you to keep the ball in the line of play and give those guys an opportunity to run it back. But I think it's not going to work. Last year it was a 30. If you kicked it out the back of the end zone, you give them an extra 5 yards. Do those 5 yards make a difference? Absolutely. It's a game of inches. But I think teams are still going to be like, you know what? I have Baltimore Ravens defense. I'm going to put my team out there, or I have the Kansas City defense. I'm going to put my team out there on the 35. We'll see, though. We'll see how many teams are bold enough to kick it to some of these guys. And as you know, these guys are getting more and more athletic returning the ball. We haven't seen anybody since Devin Hester that good, but some of these guys are great when returns. But I think it's all for nothing. And then the other rule change I have written down is they're changing the overtime rule during the regular season to both teams getting a possession. The rule for the longest time is you get the ball, you score, it's over. Whether you kick a field goal or score a touchdown. Then they changed it in the postseason. I think it's funny how Patrick Mahomes lost in overtime to Brady. He didn't get the ball. He left the field with the lead. Tom Brady went down there, tied it up, went to overtime. The Patriots won the coin flip, got the ball, won the game. Nobody felt any sympathy for Patrick Mahomes. Fast forward to Pat, same
With
thing.
Josh Allen.
Take his team down there with Josh Allen, tie the game up, force overtime, win the coin flip, end the game. Josh doesn't get the ball back. That's not fair to Josh. He played his ass off. I think Josh got a different color jersey than Patrick Mahomes. Because once that happened, they changed the rule. Now they're changing the rule again.
I don't like the rule change, man.
So I don't know.
I think it prolongs the game. Like in a regular season, come on, bro. Like it's prolonging the game.
They use the same rule in college. Well, similar rule.
Like I said, I don't like it, man. I don't like the prolonging the game, man. Like I understand in the playoffs, but in a regular season, come on, man. We ain't got time to, watch this extra stuff. Let them, you win or lose, though, and go on about your day.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. Do you think college should change their rule to how the NFL had it? You get ball first and end the game? Or do you like it in college?
I like it in college. I'll say leave it. It's not broken, don't fix it.
Okay. See, I like following the college. I've always felt the NFL should follow the college overtime rules. Everybody gets a chance. You know what I'm saying? We don't need, because you got some guys, the NFL is the best of the best, bro. So you got a guy like Brady get the ball after winning the coin flip. It's over. The game is over. And it's like nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, hey, it could be over
So
one or two
I
ways,
do
Jay.
like the change.
Hey, Jay, it could be over one or two ways. He go down there and score, we break his leg, and it's over with for him. It's one of the two ways.
So I like it. I don't mind that. I just want them to fully adapt to what the college rule is. I know it makes the games longer, but I think it makes the games more entertaining. So if they fully adapt how the college does overtimes, or even if they just did it for the playoffs, oh man, could you imagine the way they do the overtimes in college football and the NFL playoffs? Oh, that'd be such great television. But what are the rule changes you got?
Okay, I have a new one. They're using new technology for the chains. You heard about that? So it seems like they're not going to be using a chain crew anymore. They're going to be using technology to be able to spot the ball and everything. That's going to be real interesting how they integrate that. I like watching the chain guys, but I'm wondering how they're going to integrate that into the game. Um, Another thing they're talking about is they're having new specifics for unsportsmanlike conduct. Like you can't do all those gun celebrations and throat cutting celebrations, and those type of things. They're trying to get rid of in the NFL. And then I seen a new rule they're talking about where you only can have 5 calls or video messages with prospective free agents. With you only can have it with five
Okay.
prospective free agents. So I think that's really interesting. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
how would
You're
that
limiting
affect
the
free agency?
contact you have with certain guys. So that's going to be definitely a little different. With the chain crew, I don't think they were doing a bad job. I think the refs missed calls. I don't think the chain crew did a bad job. If anything, the chain crew back in the 80s and 90s were doing a bad job. But I think now we don't have as many missed opportunities. And it's like, how are you going to go about that? You're going to put a chip in the football. I think that's going to change the weight of the ball, and that's going to change the game itself. So I don't know. I like the idea of trying to be technologically advanced, but it's a line that you don't want to cross where it alters the game.
I agree. I like chain crew.
So I know we have guys miss calls, but I think to go that far would be too much. Limiting the contact with free agents is interesting because I'm sure you've had teams in the past. They'll call a guy every day. Hey, how's it going? You coming to Miami? You still think about Miami? So now you're limiting that interaction. That really, I think, is going to. It's like college almost. You only can reach out to these kids so many times. So I think that's going to be. I think that one's going to be more interesting than anything.
Only
Seeing how
five
teams
players.
delegate those. Yeah, delegate those interactions. That even more valuable. These people you reach out for, and you have to document it some way. So my thing is, what's going to be the punishment if we catch teams like Miami cheating again or New England cheating again? It's always
Draft
the
picks.
AFC East teams. You think you're gonna keep with draft picks, take your picks?
Hey Jay, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Hey. The Dolphins were like, look, the Patriots cheated all these years. We trying to get on top, but we got to cheat too.
All right, man. Moving on to the next one. Is this topic is near and dear to Money's heart. I'm gonna lead first and make my little points, and then the floor kid. Is it panic time in Miami? Terran Armstead has been putting out there that he plans to retire. Nothing is official as of today, correct?
No, nothing's official. But
Okay,
he's done
nothing's
everything to
official yet,
show.
but he's done everything to show he plans on retiring. And I think this spells trouble for the Dolphins. Left tackle is a critical position. Armstead was the elite tackle when healthy, protected to his blind side, especially given to his injury history. Losing that stability could lead to more pressure, more hits, and another injury setback for
Jay,
Tua. We
Jay,
can't afford for
Armstead.
Tua to get hurt.
No, the right tackle is his blind side, Jay.
Oh, I forget. Yeah, Tua's a
He a
lefty.
lefty.
Traditionally speaking, left tackle is the blind side. So that hurts. And then you already have depth issues. Has been a work in progress. The offensive line has been a work in progress for years. Armstead brought a veteran leadership and consistency. Without him, you'll likely need to draft somebody or try to swing a trade and sign. But even with that being said, his impact in the run game, McDaniels like to run that movement and precise on the has that movement and precision in the run game. Armstead helped guys like Raheem Mostert and A-Chain shine the most. That downgrade at that left tackle position will mess that up entirely. And then you look at the free agency and tackles, they're mostly picked over. The top tier guys are already gone. The rest are just risky plays or older. You could draft a tackle, but now it becomes a need instead of a luxury that handcuffs you in the first round because that's honestly the best time to get a tackle. After that, it gets kind of dicey. And they might miss out on other great positions, like you guys could use another edge rusher, with Phillips tend to be going on the downside with his injuries. Or you could use a DB after letting Hollis walk in free agency. Now you got to protect Tua. That becomes priority. And the cap space situation is already tight with money, so trading to get a top left tackle is going to be tough.
Are you done? You ready? You ready for me to go into my tangent?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. This long coming. Okay. So with Armstead retiring or potentially retiring because he's done um, everything in his power to show that he's thinking about retiring. He reduced his salary. He's been taking longer to respond. We might not know if he's retiring until after the draft. That's something to think about,
Which is
Jay.
awful, by the way, man. That's terrible.
So I'm gonna say this, right? So let's do a hypothetical. If he retires after the draft, we have Patrick Paul. We're stuck with him. Um, well, let's just call it what it is, Jay. If you're gonna get a good tackle, you're gonna have to draft a tackle in the top 15. It's better in the top five, but top 15. Will Campbell, are we expecting Campbell to be there? I highly doubt he will be there at 13. Is it possible? Yes. But will he be there? No. And you have to look at the Dolphins and their drafting, right? Drafted Patrick Paul in the second round. As the left tackle of the future. You drafted Austin Jackson, who's the right tackle. He was drafted in the 20s. He was supposed to be the tackle of the future, left tackle. He didn't play good at left tackle, so they moved him to right tackle. You're investing a lot of capital into the offensive line. You have Patrick Paul in second round. You have Austin Jackson in the first round. Now you got Liam Eichenberg. That dude sucks. That dude flat out sucks. I don't even know why he's on the team. But we got Liam Eichenberg. We drafted him in the second round. That dude's been a garbage can. The two Anniers, they're talking about, hey man, the man didn't allow a sack. Now he's getting treated like a sack of potatoes out there on the field. He didn't allow a sack from Notre Dame. Now he treated like a sack of potatoes on the field. Then our good lineman Robert Hunt, we didn't want to pay the dude, so we let him walk. We can't draft offensive linemen, and the best one we draft, we let the dude walk. The dude a Carolina Panther now, and then so it's just me
Thank you, by the
personally.
way.
You welcome. You welcome. Hope you treat him better than we did. Like TJ say, Mister Throw him out the club. It's in Carolina and
For the
protecting their
people at home, I'm
quarterback.
a Carolina Panthers fan. That's why I tease money with that.
So 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 I'm gonna just say, at 13, everybody's like, hey, we need to draft, a tackle. We need to draft a defensive tackle. Guess who left? Calais Campbell. He went to Arizona. He went to Arizona, who kicked our butt last year for a 1 year, $7.5 million contract. That's the max his contract can go to. He left. He was one of our best defensive tackles, and he's 40 years old. That just tell you a lot you need to know about the team. He's 40 years old and one of our best defensive tackles. And so at 13, you're like, who do we draft? Let's see. Um, you got two safeties you brought in who can't stay healthy because you let Holland walk, and he went to the Giants. Your best defensive tackle on the team, or at least second best, he left, and he left tackles going. So it's like, who we gonna draft at 13? I personally want Nick E. That's what I call him. That's my boy Nick E. from South Carolina. I think he's gonna be a Cam Chancellor type of safety. But knowing I look at Miami, they're not gonna draft him. They're gonna let him go to
I hate to
what?
burst your bubble, money, but I think the fact that you guys did sign two safeties, they don't plan on drafting him. I thought that was a really good spot for him since you did lose a really good safety in Javon Hollins. And I'm pretty sure he'll be on the board around 13. But the fact that they did sign two veterans at the position, one, we can kind of swing it. But two veterans at the position, sadly, I don't think they're going to take him.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say this. Nick E was my favorite prospect, but he's gonna go have a great career with another team, probably the Jets.
Sadly.
And then And then we're talking about cornerback. Well, our GM can't draft a corner. We drafted Noah. He's drafted Noah Ibinagmi. He plays for the Commanders now. He actually looks like let's
He's been
see,
playing good for the
a
Commanders.
respectable corner for the Commanders. The dude couldn't guard a paper bag for Miami, but he goes to the Commanders and he becomes, hey, he's like, hey, you know what? I actually can play for real now. And so, we draft Cam Smith. The dude can't see the field. Everybody, Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard's like, man, we need to see what happens when Fangio leaves. Fangio leaves. Guess what? Dude's still on the bench. He got outplayed by Storm Duck, who's an undrafted free agent rookie. That's who we got.
Storm
So
Duck sucks too. He played for the Tar Heels, so he was good for UNC. Then he transferred to Oregon. Ironically, he went to Oregon. His name's Storm Duck, but whatever. He wasn't good there, and I believe he transferred one more time, or he probably just declared. I'm not sure, but he wasn't good his last year in Carolina. He was good his freshman sophomore year. His last year he wasn't good. His graduate year at Oregon wasn't good. So, I mean, it's nice to see him being productive. Has he been productive in your opinion for the
hey Jay, let me
Dolphins?
ask you a question. If he been good, would they be talking about Miami drafting a corner at 13?
That's fair. That's fair.
That's all you need to know.
That
They're
is.
talking
I
about
mean,
Will
hold on.
Will Johnson.
I'm gonna push back. You guys had Xavier Howland coming off that crazy season, and you still was trying to get another corner.
I'll say the thing is, it looked like we're drafting a cornerback of the future at that point, but because Xavier Howard was older, and so was Byron Jones. So that's what I think the thought process was. But now we have Jalen Ramsey, who's about to be 30 soon. We have Cam Smith, who we drafted in the
And there's
second
rumors
round.
floating out there that he's gonna get
Storm
moved to
Dunk.
safety. Correct?
There's rumors he possibly in a season or two might be a safety. So it's like you're gonna need multiple corners. And personally, I'm gonna say this. I think we need to trade down. We need more draft picks. I don't think we need to stay at 13. If you're not gonna draft Nick E, trade down. We have more holes than just cornerback. Because think about it, left tackle. We got Patrick Paul, the dude. Jay, what was he? 100 and he was like what? He was like one of the worst left tackles
He was
in the
one of the
league.
worst.
He
He
was
was
like
like
what? He was like
344
what'd
out
you
of
say?
like 350.
44? Yeah, something like that. 44.
Yeah, he was at the bottom.
So so that's all that tells you. I personally feel like this is the coaching staff's potential last season because Jay, you gotta think about it like this, right? If you really think your team has a chance to make it and do big things, you would go out on free agent. You would restructure your quarterback's contract and win a free agency and got him more talent, right or wrong.
Yeah.
So it just I think it's panic time in Miami. You went and got Zach Wilson as a potential backup, and guess what he said? Zach Wilson said they said Zach Wilson, why'd you sign to Miami? He said that's my best chance to be a starter.
Did he really say that?
Yes, he said that's his best chance to be a starter. What does that tell you, Jay?
I don't like creating tension before you even get to the team. So now, instead of him and Tua having some type of professional working relationship, Tua not going to talk to him. So, but that also makes me think what was said to him behind closed doors. What conversations did you have when signing with the team that led you to believe you're going to be on the field? Because theoretically, if the season goes the way we all hope it does, Zach Wilson's not going to play.
Well, let's just hey
But for him to
JJ.
confidently say that,
Statistically, we got to bring statistics in this. Statistically, Tua has been in the league for 5 seasons, right? 4 out of the 5 seasons he hasn't played a full season. So that means that Zach Wilson has a 80% chance of playing. If we're doing statistics,
you're correct.
so
That's a tough one. But to
I'm
say
just
that publicly, someone has put that in his ear, money. You don't. It's certain things you say as a professional athlete, and certain things you don't say. For him to one feel confident enough to say it, two actually say it, someone has told him like, "Hey, you're probably going to play at some point."
let me
And
ask you this, Jay.
if we speed run,
Let me ask you this. What if, due to Miami and the changes we see, what if they get to a point that they're not even in playoff contention? They're like, Zach, go in there and play. There's a potential, it's a chance. Because think about it, you don't have your best left tackle. You lost one of your best defensive tackles. You lost Holland. Those are three huge pieces to replace. Plus Jalen Phillips, and Jalen Phillips is hurt. Chubb didn't even play all last season. All you have is Chop. I
You need an
don't
edge
see them
rusher.
having a great center. I don't have to see them
But
having a great season.
Armstead, I
I think
mean,
left tackle is
honestly,
the
bro,
biggest.
Armstead really screwed y'all, bro. He really screwed you by waiting so long and going about the way he did. But at the same time, Chris
It's
Greer should have been on
signs,
top
Jay.
of it.
Jay, it's
Once he
signs.
realized it was signs. It was signs leading up to like, hey, he might not be coming back. Chris should have been preparing going into free agency like, hey, we need to get a left tackle. We need to try to go get somebody.
Just think about it,
So
Jay.
now it just seems like, what are we
Think
doing?
about it. Think about it, Jay. He restructured his deal to the minimal. That's all that.
Yeah.
That's all that it tells you. Hey, I'm thinking about retiring. You got to get ahead of that. And everybody's like, I want to see Patrick Paul play. We seen a dude play. He looked garbage out there on the field.
We did see him play. We
So
did see him play. I mean, for what it's worth, you could still get a quality left tackle in the second round. Like I've been telling you, since we started our podcast, I really like Ariante out of Minnesota. I think he is a diamond in the rough. Before the season started, he was projected to be a first round tackle. Somehow or another, he kind of slid into the second, third round, but I still think he's really good. So the Dolphins could get him in the second round.
hey Jay, you're gonna be like me. You're gonna be like me with when I said the quarterback situation, drafting quarterbacks. What you gonna do? How many tackles you gonna draft in the second or first round
I
before you
know,
find the
man.
right
I
one?
know.
Liam Eichenberg was a tackle at one point. You know that, right, Jay? He was a tackle when he came from Notre
Yeah.
Dame, and they moved him to guard, and the dude sucks. Austin Jackson in the first round was a tackle. It's
Applying my
not
logic
Patrick
against me.
Paul.
You're right, though. How many times can you draft a tackle? You're correct.
So, the GM
So,
might get
based on
fired
what you
too.
know about Chris Greer, right? What do you think he's going to do with that 13 pick?
Knowing what I know about Chris Greer, he's going to take a corner, or he's going to probably take. He's probably going to take Will Johnson, or he's going to take that defensive tackle from Michigan. That's what I'm. That's what
Those are
I'm
both
thinking
good.
he
I
might
like
do.
Will Johnson a lot. Will Johnson's a stud. I think he's the best corner in this draft. So if you did land him, I think that would be good. I've heard other people mention the other kid, but I like Will Johnson. He's long. He's 6'2" and he got like a 7-foot wingspan. Did you hear about
He's
that?
a corner we like. He's a corner we
So
like. Like
he's a
that we love.
stud,
We would
bro.
love on Madden, but it's like you have so many holes in Miami, man. Like
Yes,
Jay,
you do.
Jay. We might have to go corner because he might be on the field a lot because our quarterback getting sacked because the left tackle can't block nobody, or he throwing picks because the left tackle getting hit. So we might have to go corner because we got to learn how to stop a dude.
But you like Cam Smith when you first drafted him. You were big
I
on I
did,
want him on the field.
and he didn't. He wasn't. He didn't play, and now he might be a lost cause. Like Chris Greer has wasted a lot of draft capital on players. Like think about it like this, right, Jay? We drafted Channing Tindall, freak of nature athlete, in the third round.
He's really good.
That dude ain't been on the field. Hasn't he? Like Jay, think about it. We're always bringing in a new middle linebacker or signing somebody. The kid has not gotten a chance. So that tells me that's a bust of a pick. If you draft another corner, that's telling me, hey, Cam Smith ain't good enough because Storm Duck has played as many snaps as him. And Storm Duck, like you said, dude sucks. So it's
Was Storm the
so
opposite starter of Jalen last season?
yes, he played a lot because Cam Smith was hurt. So it's just getting to the point. I personally think you need a new GM. He can't draft. How many swings at the baseball do you need before you hit a home run?
I mean, if we're being fair, how long has he been? He's been a GM over 10, right? Or a little less.
Let's see. He was the GM with Flores there. So I'll say he's been a GM for about
Flores,
4 to
McDaniels,
5. He's been a GM about 5, 6 years. This is about to be a 6 year.
5, 6 years. Okay. So in those 6 years, you guys have drafted Robert Hunt. He was good. Unfortunately, he doesn't walk, but he did draft him. Uh, Noah, since Noah was bad in Miami, we're going to say that's a miss. Then you have
Traded Minka.
Paul. Patrick Paul was bad. He drafted Minka, but Minka had a locker room issue, so you had to move him. So I won't hold that against him. So that's
Javon
2-1
Holland,
right now.
he's
Javon Holland. So I
going.
mean, he had a couple players he hit on, but he's not keeping these players. What is it that he's doing that he's not re-signing his players he's actually
Think
hitting
about
on?
it. We let Christian Wilkins walk, no matter how he's played.
You let
But
Christian Wilkins
we
walk, even though
think
that
about
worked
it.
out at the time, it was a bad decision.
Yes, he's not a good GM, Jay, because it like at the beginning before, like with the Flores thing, right, Jay? If you look at the Dolphins, they're building through the draft. They're building through the draft. Then Mike
Yes.
McDaniel got there, and they started trading for players. They changed their whole philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't
I
do
don't know,
both. You have
man.
to. I think this isn't going to be a great season. I think you got Zach Wilson saying, "Hey man, I came here because it's my best chance to start." That might think about it like this, Jay. Say if Zach Wilson is lighting it up in practice, that might cause locker room issues.
Chris Greer has had a history of, missing on trades and stuff like that. So, what do you think is the best available move on draft night? Trade up or draft a guy who could potentially be a bust?
I only
And
given
if
two
you
options.
trade up, who are you moving off your roster to move up in the draft?
I'm trading up and going to get Campbell. I'm going up and getting Campbell. Who would I move? I don't know how high up I would have to go to get him. I probably would have to go to top five, and I don't think there's anybody that you can move unless you move like Waddle or somebody. Like unless you move like player wise, I don't know who you can move unless you move Waddle or Tyreek Hill or somebody like that to get up that high because you said I have to
It would
move a
have to be
player, no
Hill.
no draft picks, just player.
Yeah, you have to move a player in order to move up.
I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it to move up then at that point. I just have to just
Really? So you'd rather hold on the heel instead of move him?
well if I could move Hill, yes. But the question is if I had to give him to New England, he gonna be torching us. If I had to give up Hill, I would. But I think a team's gonna want Waddle. If I
I
had to
mean,
give
that's
up a
fair.
player.
Teams would probably want the younger guy.
And
The
so
thing is,
it's not
Tyreek's
worth
a
it.
reason why I say Tyreek is because he's already been throwing up a fit, saying he wants out of Miami and stuff like that. So with that being said, you
Yeah.
move the disgruntled guy and just pray that Jalen Waddle stays healthy for a full season
Hey Jay,
because that's
you
been like the
remember
biggest thing for him.
remember what
Because
what you asked me? I said if I trade Hill, you said who will Tua throw it to? Because Waddle
no,
can't
I
stay
mean I
healthy.
like Jalen Waddle. Yeah,
Yeah,
Waddle
Waddle
can't
can't
stay
stay
healthy. That's
healthy,
a big thing.
and
If
you
he can
expect
stay healthy,
Smith?
he showed us he can be a number one.
Yes.
John was really good. I like John. I mean, his pieces there. That's why the offense should continue to thrive. A Chain's a really good receiving back, but that's again,
You know, A
it's
Chain
funny
played
because you
receiver,
have
Jay.
guys.
A Chain played
He
receiver
played
back in the day.
receiver.
Yeah. What do you
Oh,
think? You might have to move A Chain to receiver to replace use A Chain like a Tavon Austin in college.
and then give Jalen Wright some touches. That's not a bad
Yeah.
idea.
That's what I'm thinking.
So
That's
because
your
Jalen
best
Wright
bet.
is bigger. What is he? 6'2", 210. That's not bad.
5'11",
So,
6 foot, same thing. Somewhere around now.
but the thing with A Chain too, though, A Chain has an injury history as well. Another player
See?
that's hurt a lot. So it's
You know
funny
what,
because you
Jay?
look at the Dolphins offense, they have guys all over their team that are good, but they're hurt a lot. Armstead is hurt a lot. Tua is obviously hurt a lot. A Chain's hurt a lot. Waddle's hurt a lot.
What that says a lot about your GM. He draft hurt players. Because remember, Waddle would get hurt in college. Tua got hurt in
Yes.
college.
Yes.
Armstead had injury problems in New Orleans.
In New Orleans, correct.
So the GM is bringing
That's
those
tough,
players
man.
in.
Yeah, he definitely bringing them in, man.
Yeah, I feel better. I got it off my chest, bro. Now we get to wait to the draft. We get to wait to the
Yes,
draft.
we gotta wait. I'm not sure when the draft. I gotta double check when the draft is.
It's
But
this month. It's this month.
Man, I'm saying, is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks? Is it at the end of the month or beginning of the month?
25th.
I'm not sure.
It's the 25th.
So that's towards the end of the
I
month.
think.
Okay. So that gotta be at least like 3 weeks.
Yeah, the 25th. So
And it's the 4th today. So yeah, about two and a half weeks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward
And
to it.
we gotta do another mock draft too. We gotta do another mock draft now that we had.
We do it a week before.
Dominoes fall in free agency. Do it the week before. Okay, do our last one. But yeah,
or unless you want to do
man,
a draft night.
It's funny. Oh, do like a special? We could do a special, but ultimately, Terran Armstead really just screwed Miami. I mean, it's funny because his decision impacts the team entirely. Like, I think honestly, they have to redo their draft board now, and I think they weren't prepared to redo their draft board because they anticipated him coming back. But it's like you and I both said, he showed all the signs that I'm about to peace out. And now the final reports we're hearing is that he's made his decision to retire. That sucks, man. That sucks. And you don't have the cap flexibility to go get anybody. It's not as easy as trade your 13 pick, go get an awesome tackle. It's not that easy. So that definitely sucks for Miami.
A lot of capital.
Hopefully things pan out, but we shall see.
New tackle, bro.
Exactly. It is a lot of capital to move up in the draft. And it's a lot of capital to go get a good tackle. It's like it's worse of two evils. It's going to be really expensive to move up in the draft. It's going to be really expensive to go get like a Christian Darrisaw or Rashawn Slater if those guys are even available.
Jay, let's just call it what it is. How many tackles that are good are actually available?
You are correct. They're available via free agency. And we've seen this past offseason that even when they're free agents, they're still not available. Stanley resigned immediately with the Ravens. So
you had him on your board, and I was like, bro, why you don't leave?
I did, man. That boy said, I'm not even leaving. I ain't even fueling up the jet. That's what he said. He's like, I ain't even finna fuel the jet, man. What y'all want to do?
Dude, did he leave the Ravens office? They locked him in the office.
No. It is a world where I kind of make, I love making up fake trades. You make a trade with the Jets and go get their left tackle, Olu. He's like a second-year player. He's actually pretty good. He sat behind somebody, but he was a big prospect coming out. I can't think of his last name.
They probably
but
gave
he's
up
pretty
on
good.
him too,
But then
Jay.
it comes to
because remember, when you sign somebody for a lot of money, you basically gave up on that player.
Yeah. And so with him being so young and now this is the thing though, trading with division rivals is tough. The Jets might be open to moving Alu, but they might not want to. Let me look up his name. He has an African name.
I was talking about the Chiefs left tackle because they drafted a tackle and they signed one. So and then with the Jets,
they moving on.
Division rivals.
Olu Fashanu. He went in the first round, I believe, last year. Yes, he went in the first round for the Jets, but I don't think he played a whole lot. So I think a guy like that may be available who still has a ton of potential, who is a first rounder. And then you got guys like J.C. Lathan. I don't think he's available, but he didn't have the best of seasons for the Titans. As we can see, they got the number 1 pick. So you could potentially go after him. But what's the price tag for these players, though? That's the biggest thing.
A lot. So you ready to wrap it up, bro?
I think that'll be it, man. Yeah. I mean, it was a good day, though. Got a lot of things said. We finally got to talk about the Dolphins. I guess next time we'll talk about my...
Yeah, we talk about Panthers next week. You get to go on yours. I'm going to sit back and chill. When you going on yours.
But that's it, y'all. Once again, thank you for watching to the end. We greatly appreciate the support. Please leave a like. Please leave a comment. Please share. Get in there. We're very interactive, like I said before. We love all the support. We love all the comments. And if you're new here, please hit that sub button. Tell us how you feel. If there's any topics you guys want to hear us talk about, go ahead and leave a comment. We love to hear it. We love to hear the feedback. Until the next one, I'm J.C.D. This is F Money. Peace.
Take it easy, y'all.